Hey YouTube, in this video we're going to be looking at solving quadratics by factoring. We're going to be looking at quadratics of the form x squared plus bx plus c, and b is going to be the coefficient, and you can see in this example 10 is the coefficient, which is the number term on the variable, and we're going to have c as the constant term, which is just going to be a number. And whenever you have a quadratic of this form, it's always going to be factored in a way where you have x plus m, going to have x plus m, where m is going to be one factor, or x plus m will be one factor, and x plus n will be the other factor. Okay, so I have a set of instructions here to the right on how to factor something like this. Step 1. We want to check if c, being the constant term, is going to be positive or negative. We can see in this example here, c is positive, so we know if it's positive, there will be two positive or two negative factors. Let's move on to step 2 now. The factor greater in magnitude will have the same sign as b. So b is a positive number. It's plus 10. So the factor greater in magnitude, that means the higher number is going to be positive. And since we know both factors will either be positive or negative, we're going to have two positive factors in this case. Let's move on to step 3 now. We need to guess solutions of two numbers that have a product of c and a sum of b. That means we need to have our two numbers. We're going to have m times n needs to equal c, and m plus n needs to equal b. So this is our product, and this one is our sum. Okay, so let's start trying to guess two numbers that multiply to 21. Well, what if we try the numbers 21 times 1? We could have 21 times 1 equals c. Let's see if that equals b. 21 plus 1, and that's going to equal 22, which does not equal 10. And like I said before, 10 is going to be our b term. So we need these numbers to add to 10 and multiply to 21. Let's try some other numbers that try to multiply to 21. We'll try 7 times 3. 7 times 3 equals 21, which equals our term c, and 7 plus 3 equals 10, which is our b term. So now we know that 7 and 3 will be our factors for this equation, and we can write this out like this: x plus 7 times x plus 3, and that's going to equal 0. Now, in this equation, if we know that these two factors have a product of 0, that means if either one of these factors is equal to 0, then the whole equation will be equal to 0. Because if this factor is 0, and this factor is anything, it could be 5 or something, 0 times 5 equals 0, and the equation works. Or if this factor is 5, and the other factor is 0, it still equals 0. So knowing that, we need to set one of our factors equal to 0. So let's start off by setting the factor, our left factor, equal to 0. So x plus 7 equals 0. And now we need to isolate our variable x, so we can do that by subtracting 7 from both sides. So x plus 7 minus 7 equals 0 minus 7. And the 7 and the minus 7 are going to cancel out, and that just gives us x equals negative 7. Let's look at our factor on the right now. We have x plus 3 equals to 0. Let's subtract 3 from both sides to try and isolate x. X plus 3 minus 3 equals to 0. And then the 3 and the minus 3 are going to cancel out. So I can just cross off those terms there. Then I'm going to have, also I need to subtract 3 from this side. And that's going to give me x equals negative 3. It's a negative sign. So these are our solutions to this equation. If you plug in either negative 7 or negative 3 into this above equation, you'll get 0. So these are the factors of this equation. Let's try a second example now. Okay, we're going to be looking at this example, x squared minus 3x minus 40. So if you want to pause this video now and give this a try, you can. Okay, let's check if c is positive or negative from step 1. C is negative, so if negative, there will be one positive and one negative factor. Now let's move on to step 2. The factor greater in magnitude, that means the factor that's the higher number, will have the same sign as b. This is our b. Negative 3 is our b. And c is negative 40. Okay, so the factor greater in magnitude will have the same sign as b. This is the sign. It's this little negative here. This negative is the sign. So the factor in greater in magnitude is going to be negative. So now we need to try to find two numbers, m times n, that are going to equal negative 40, and m plus n, that it will equal negative 3. And we know the factor greater in magnitude has the same sign as b, so it's going to be negative. Okay, what if we try negative 10 times 4? That equals negative 40. But now let's do negative 10 plus 4. That equals negative 6, which does not equal b, which is negative 3. Let's try some other factors. Let's try negative 8 and 5. I put the negative 8 as negative and not the 5 because the factor greater in magnitude needs to be negative in this case. So this equals negative 40. And then negative 8 plus 5 equals negative 3. So this equals c. This equals our c term. Here, this negative 40. And negative 3 equals our b term. So we can use these factors.